Hi, my name's Lee Matthews and I'm a physiotherapist, and this is Pilates Rehab Relax. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to all of our latest content. This is part of our 5 gentle exercises series. Find yourself a nice comfortable chair. It needs to be one without wheels, yeah, safety conscious, and ideally not the sofa because it's just too soft and you're going to sit slouched. So I want you to find a nice firm chair, either an office chair maybe or a dining room chair. And I'm going to bring myself sat slightly forwards on the chair. We're going to constantly be aware of those principles of Pilates that we've gone through, those 5 key sort of elements of Pilates, which if you click on the link above it will go through them. But if you remember, it was about keeping the pelvis centered, it was about having nice wide collarbones and that lengthening from the tailbone to the top of the head. So we're trying to avoid this and we're in a nice upright position there, yeah. What I want you to do for the first exercise, we're going to practice engaging those core muscles that we've been working on. This is an ideal entry point for anyone that lacks confidence, that's not been used to doing any exercise. You might have an underlying condition like low back pain, because these muscles get weak. They get weak if you've had surgery, they can get weak with long-term pain. And the trouble is that if that causative muscle has got weak, then any underlying problems are often exacerbated by it. So good strong muscles are a good thing to have there. So what we're going to do to try and find our tummy muscles first of all is if you find where your belly button is, yeah, and move your hands just a little bit either side there, so there's still a soft fleshy bit there. If you go to laugh, so I didn't deliver laugh. If you laugh, if you cough, you find those muscles pull in slightly. They're the muscles we're after, yeah. They're the muscles we're trying to train with all of this. So when I talk about zipping up, when I talk about engaging your core, yeah, they're the muscles we're looking for. So a good analogy would be if you were trying to do up a really tight pair of jeans or some pair of trousers that you bought that you really want to keep but you're just that little bit too big for maybe. So when you go to zip up the flies on them, when you go to do that top button up, you have to just draw the tummy in, and that's exactly what I'm after. So it's that scooping up of the belly and drawing that tummy button in towards the spine there. So yeah, this is our first exercise, is zipping up that core, engaging that core, and hold. We try and count to 5, shall we? And then relax again. So the first one we're going to do is 5 of those in a row. So again, you can keep the hands there, or if you feel comfortable, you can have them resting on your lap. So you draw that tummy muscle in. So it's a little bit like a lift of the pelvic floor combined with this drawing inwards, and probably about a 60% contraction. If 100% was really bracing as hard as you can, all I'm looking for is that sort of 60% of activation there. So we're just drawing it in, but notice I continue to breathe and I'm not turning blue in the face. So if you're doing that, you're not doing it right, yeah? And relax again. And again, so that was our second one. So again, drawing that muscle in and hold, and relax again. So we've got one more of those and we've done our 5 of this first move. So again, drawing that muscle in and hold. And the great thing is with this exercise, you can do it anywhere you want to. You could be sat on the bus, you could be answering the telephone, you could be anywhere you fancy, sat at the traffic lights. As long as it's safe, you just engage that muscle and hold and then relax. And the great thing is that if you practice doing that and get used to it, build that muscle up, then you can even do that exercise when you go to lift up the laundry basket. Those things that you might find a challenge or uncomfortable, if we engage that muscle when we go to do them, you're giving that spine that extra bit of support there, yeah? So that was our first exercise. So we're going to keep on doing that core contraction. If you've really struggled, you might even just focus on doing that to begin with and nothing else. You might just practice doing 10 of them in a row, 3 or 4 times a day and build on it. But once you've got used to it, the next one we're going to go on to is the one leg stretch. So for this one, I'm sat away from the back of the chair to give myself a bit of room here. If you find that you're struggling to stay upright unsupported, then you can move back instead. This is a better position to be in. And what I'm going to do, I found that nice neutral position. So I'm not slouching, I'm not sat like a sergeant major, I'm in that nice mid position there, yeah? And what we're going to do, we engage that core muscle, and then if you lift up your left leg slightly off of the ground, there you go. So we're engaging that muscle, we keep it engaged, and we've just lifted that leg up slightly and down again. That's good. Well, we better do 5 on each leg, hadn't we? So if I alternate and down again. So if we think about a crane on a building site, that crane needs to have a strong tower to support the arm of the crane as it lifts its load. And very much the same is true of our body, that if this muscle gets weak, then it actually then becomes a struggle to do some of the tasks we need to, like lifting, reaching, carrying your shopping bags. So it's a very good reason for getting this muscle stronger. Right, I've done a couple on each leg. If you found that was easy, the progression to it is to have the leg out straight in front of you. Now, there's no pressure to do that, and if you want to just stick to having the knee bent, then do that, that's fine. And then down again, and the same again. And I think this is where having your bottom on the edge of the chair would be a better challenge there as well. And relax. So yeah, if I've got my bottom forwards right on the edge of the chair, then when I bring the leg up, it involves a little bit more activation there. One last time for the one leg stretch. But you stick to whatever works for you. Might be knees bent, might be legs straight. You can even give the ankle a wiggle when you're out there and back down again. That's good. So that was our second exercise, the one leg stretch. What we're now going to move on to is the double leg stretch, which rather deceivingly is actually an arm move, because it was adapted from the original positions that Joseph Pilates designed, but we're interested in the arm component of it. So again, I'm nice and centered. I've got that nice long upright position here with my spine, wide collarbones and a nice long neck. I engage those tummy muscles, yeah? Zipping that core up. And then what we're going to do as we breathe in, up to the ceiling, and then like we're drawing around a big circle, back down again. So should we do that a few more times? That was one. So big breath in, and out again. And the whole way through that exercise, I keep that tummy engaged, yeah? So engage your core muscle, and big breath in, and I'm going to do one more, and out. So if you had a bad arm, just do it on one side. You could even just do one arm. It doesn't need to be a double thing. You could shorten it if you've got a bad shoulder. So you might even only work in a small range. That's fine. We all work to our individual capabilities, and it's not how it looks, it's about how it feels, yeah? So that was the double leg stretch. The next move we're going to do is the one leg circle, which pretty much the name gives it away, really. So again, engage that muscle. I'm sat on the edge of the chair. If you found you were struggling though, do sit back in the chair, and you can work into these slowly and build up your tolerance of these things. So there you go, I'm sat on the edge of the chair, I engage the muscle, and you can pretty much guess what comes next. I lift up one of my legs, and imagining you've got a paintbrush tied to the end of your knee, gonna draw a little circle. So I'm gonna do about 5 circles. Do you remember which direction you're going to do it in? Because we'll go the opposite way in a moment. That must be 5. There we go. And then again, engage the muscle. We'll go in the opposite direction. And back down again. And I'm going to go up again. So with each repetition, I'm just doing a few small circles, aiming for a nice controlled movement there, and the rest of me stays perfectly still, like I'm made out of stone, and back down again, and up. So you don't have to have your hands on your tummy there, but if you just wanted to monitor that you've engaged that muscle, it's not a bad place for them to be. And down. And one last one on this side, and that's our 5. And then swap over to the other leg there. So again, engage that muscle, and on the opposite leg, let's lift up slightly and make some circles there, yeah? And down again. And again, engage that core, up we go, and circling in the other direction. So if at any point you think, oh well, I've lost my form here, I'm slouching in the chair, then just stop for a moment and find yourself back in that nice neutral position and start again. That's good. So a few more and we're done on this one as well. That's good. And back down. And if I've counted correctly, I think there's one more left on this leg. And down. And again, engage the muscles. Hey, if it was one for luck, it's not such a terrible thing, is it? Okay, so that was the one leg circle. So that's 4 of our 5. Now, the last one I'm going to do, I'm going to bring myself into standing, but I'm going to hold on to the chair. And the reason I do that is because we've done a little bit of work around here, but what we often find is that our bottom muscles can get quite weak as well with anything like back pain. So I'm going to stand up and turn myself around. Let's move that chair around a little bit. There you go. So for this exercise, what we're going to do now, you can lean forwards, that's fine. You could even have your arms resting on the chair, or even a secure surface like your kitchen worktop. I'm going to engage my tummy muscles there, so I'm drawing my core in there, my belly button comes in towards the spine, and what I want you to do for me is while you're doing that, keep that muscle engaged and then bring one of the legs out and behind you. So this move is called swimming in Pilates, and it's because, for obvious reasons, it looks a bit like I'm doing the legs of a swimmer. Back down. So again, draw that tummy in, engage that core, and back we go with the leg, and then down again. So having that chair for some support, it's not a bad thing. It means that we can maintain a steady balance while we're doing the exercise there. Couple more and we're done. And again, so every time my leg comes up, I'm making sure that that muscle there remains nice and tense. And I think there's one more on each leg. And again. There you go. And that's it. So, hope you found that useful. And you might find that they were easy, in which case click on one of the links that follows, and there's a full class in seated, and I'd aim to have progressions. There are other exercise routines in laying and in standing, so you've got to find what suits you, what suits your circumstances, and then just consolidate and build on that. So hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to seeing you soon.